Greetings, I am David Haberman, member of the Indiana Forest Alliance and professor of religious studies at Indiana University. And we are now standing in the middle of the backcountry area. This was an area that was created back in the early 1980s. I have with me documentation from the Department of Natural Resources. That first one was a press release from Governor Orr, who was governor of the state back then, and James Ridner, who was the director of the Department of Natural Resources back in 1981. And they announced with great fanfare the creation of the backcountry area, which they say is a designation similar to the federal wilderness area, and go on then to celebrate this as a possible wilderness experience for Hoosiers. And the other documentation that came along with the creation of the forest at that time says that this area is to be enjoyed by the wilderness seeker as a place of solitude and repose. Look around, what incredible beauty we have. And our director, James Ridner, at that time, I think, had a grand vision that Hoosiers didn't have to travel to Colorado to experience a wilderness area, but that could be created here. And I think we are now standing in the middle of the manifestation of their vision, and there's much to celebrate. Hoosiers now can have the very experience that they claimed they wanted to create. Although they go on to say that users of the area should enter with the philosophy that they will disturb as little as possible the natural woodland ecosystem, and that it will offer an experience of visiting a forested area looking much the same as it may have appeared a century and a half ago. It was produced back in 1981, so we're looking at a vision that will want this area to look as though it did 180 years ago. It would most likely get there if we would leave it alone for another century and a half. Who knows what these forests will produce? They can produce a great deal of biodiversity if left alone, so that the trees fall down naturally and produce soil, and much comes out of that. So again, much to celebrate here. I want to personally thank Governor Orr and James Ridner for creating the backcountry area. Today, however, this area is threatened because John Seifert, the state forester, backed up by Robert Carter, the current director of the DNR, and presumably the governor himself, Mitch Daniels, have decided to open up the backcountry area to commercial logging. And they plan now to come in and harvest trees in this area on a 20-year rotation. When Governor Orr established this area as a wilderness area, they set up this area with greater restrictions than the federal wilderness area. For example, you can take horses and dogs on leashes into the federal wilderness areas, whereas this area is off limits to dogs and horses. One might ask then, what would be the environmental impact? And all that was done to protect, in the literature, it's very clear, it says to protect the delicate nature of a wilderness area. What, one might ask, will be done when they begin to drag skidders down the hillside to take trees out, when they bring semi-trucks to haul trees out? For every tree that is taken out of here, dozens, perhaps even hundreds of trees will be significantly damaged. I'm standing beside a marvelous red oak tree that, as you can see, has blue spray paint on it, the sign that the DNR places on a tree to put it up for an auction for a commercial logging operation. There's a tree just up from me here. I'm standing just a few feet above a stream bed. This entire area will be severely damaged if the Division of Forestry has its way and comes into the backcountry area to open it up to commercial logging. This area will be devastated. So I call upon certainly the citizens of the state of Indiana and those who might enjoy this area to speak with a very strong voice to their state legislators, to the Natural Resources Committee members, to Director Robert Carter himself, or the governor himself, whatever level, to let those who believe that they are in charge of our public forests to know that we both want public input and we want places that are this special to be saved for current generations and future generations who could enjoy such rare, rare places for a wilderness experience. A very special place. It has been protected, never logged once since it was established. It would be a crime to begin to commercially log the backcountry area to this date. So do all you can. Check out the Indiana Forest Alliance. You can easily find that on the web by Googling it. And come and get involved with us to defend this special place and to keep this tree standing so that when I'm long gone, human beings who inhabit this land can come enjoy these marvelous species of trees that stand here, as well as the repose, the wilderness experience that was first envisioned by Governor Orr back in the early 1980s. Thank you.